everybody. Welcome to writing class. So usually on Monday we write in our journals, but we are going to start doing something else for writing. Not every day, but we will work on writing our very own story, our own book for the next few weeks. That's pretty exciting, right? So put up your hand if you love reading books. I'm definitely one of them. Well, we also need people to write books, right? And a person that writes a book is called an author. So you guys are all authors because you've been writing lots of little stories already. But now I'm actually going to teach you all the things that should be in a story, like characters and the setting. Maybe there's a problem in the story and a solution. So we're going to work our way through that, and we're going to take one small step at a time. And today we're going to decide on the character of your story, the main character. I'm going to go hold some books up first, and maybe you guys can help me if you remember the character, the main character of the story. So this is the story I told you this morning, and the title gives it away, but maybe you remember. That's right, Ralph. Ralph is the character, the little boy in this story, the main character. And last week I read you guys the pirate book. And can anyone remember the character of the pirate book? What was his name again? It was this young boy, right? And I think on one of the pages the pirate asked him what his name is, and his name was Jeremy Jacob. So we have another boy character in this one. There's still other people that come in the story, but the main character is Jeremy Jacob. What about in this book? The title gives it away. That's right, we had Mr. Bump. He was the main character in this book. And the book, there was an old lady who swallowed a puck. Maybe you remember me reading that to you. The old lady was the main character. And look at what she looks like in the picture, right? So these authors make up the characters. I read you guys this book, The Princess and the Pizza. The main character was the princess, right? Fantastic. And maybe you remember this book, Too Many Toys. That was from quite a while ago. Do you remember the name of the character? Another boy character. His name was Spencer. He had way too many toys. And we have the book Giraffe and Bird. And they were both main characters, the giraffe and bird. So a character doesn't have to be a person. It can also be an animal. The story could also be about an animal. And we also had Danny and the dinosaur. And Danny was the character in that story. So I want you to have a think for your story. What is going to be the main character? Who do you want the story to be about? Let me give you some ideas. So we've got some ideas from those books. But, for instance, you could have a clown as your main character. You could have a farmer as your main character. You could have a doctor as your main character. You could have a girl as your main character. You could have a teacher as your main character, a pilot as your main character. You could have a boy as a main character. You could have a carpenter, someone that builds houses, as your main character. You could have the babysitter as your main character. You could have a cowboy as your main character, or just a lady, a woman, or a mechanic. You could have a mechanic as your main character. You could have a mailman, someone that delivers the mail as your main character. You could have the fireman as your main character. You could have I already said princess, the queen or the king as your main character. But you could also have animals. You could have a monkey as your main character. Or maybe you want a lion as your main character. Or maybe you want a mouse as your main character, or snake. The list goes on and on and on. You just have to pick one character that you would like your story to be about. And I have chosen my story to be about the fireman. Okay, my story is going to be about the fireman. Your story, you could choose fireman, but you might be like, no, I want to make my story about someone completely different. I'm excited to see your imagination. So once you have decided, you might need to take a little bit of time to think. You're going to find this booklet. And in that big box over there, it says, draw a picture of your main character. So if you chose a princess, you got to draw a most beautiful princess. What does she look like? Does she have long hair, short hair? What does she like to wear? A dress or something else? Maybe you've chosen a cowboy. What does your cowboy look like? I would like you to add lots and lots of details to your character. What color eyes? Is he short? Is he tall? Is he slim or is he quite big? Does he have a small nose or a bigger nose? What does your character look like? Now, because Mrs. Hand is quite sore, right? I can't use my left hand. I am going to cheat. And I'm just going to put my picture there, okay? Now, obviously, your pictures are going to look a lot better than mine. Even add some color to your character. And then, once you have drawn a really cool picture of your character for your story, I want you to think of 2 names that you could possibly call your character. So, let me see if I can write them down. So, I thought of one name. I thought, well, my fireman could be named Clark. Clark, the fireman. Okay, I'm going to try and sound it out as best as I can. It's got the R sound. Clark. There we go. That's my one name I thought about. And then I thought, well, I guess his name could also be Fred. Fred, the fireman. So I'm going to write that name over here. And then I'm going to look at both names and I'm going to choose the one that I like the best. Clark the fireman or Fred the fireman? What do I want to call my character? It says choose which one you want to use. You know what? I think I'm going to use Fred. Nice and simple. Fred the fireman. So I am going to write his name in the bottom. I've chosen Fred, okay? Don't forget, because it's a name, the first letter, only the first letter has to be a capital, okay? So that's all you have to do today. You have to think about who do you want your story to be about, your character. I want you to draw the best picture. Your mom will send me a picture in. Think of 2 names that you could call your character and then choose the best one. Okay? Time to get your imagination going. Anything is okay. Good luck!